it really does suck to have to do this, but enough with postponing the inevitable. I have to sell the off-road AU Falcon. Or let's just say I'm gonna try to sell the off-road AU Falcon. So if you have 30,000 Rand, watch this video and I might just have the toy for you. Now, let's start things off with a little disclaimer. I am selling the vehicle as an off-road use only vehicle because, let's face it, it's not very road legal. However, we do live in South Africa and I think if you really wanted to, you can get this thing back on the road, but just know it's not road legal. That being said, I wanted to make a little video on everything that has been done to the off-road AU Falcon, especially lately, because a while ago I listed it for sale on Facebook Marketplace. Got a lot of attention, but honestly I couldn't sell it in the state it was, so I wanted to do a few upgrades and just make it a bit more reliable and actually just running and driving. But I have been doing some vigorous testing with it. If you haven't seen last week's video, definitely go check that out, where we took this thing out and tested the gearbox, tested if it can do a burnout. It can. So now this is pretty much a guaranteed fun haver. I sure do enjoy it. So the reason I'm selling the off-road AU Falcon is I'm not Bill Gates. Obviously I'm not Bill Gates, and I do have some very expensive hobbies, so the funds of that will go directly into those two sitting over there looking all pretty. And then also this is the Benz YouTube channel. A random Ford doesn't really fit the bill, but who knows, maybe we'll do a little off-road Benz build one day. Anyway, let's get into the most obvious modification, and that is the lift kit and the wheels. So we have a about 3 inch lift kit in all 4 corners. If you haven't seen that video, you can check it out on how I did that and everything. And then the wheels are off Ford Ranger, so they are, I don't even know the size, 255/70 R16s. I got them second hand, so they are pretty bold, so if you have a couple of bucks laying around, new tires won't hurt this thing. And then the wheels themselves, I think they are off a Jeep of some kind, and then at the back I turned them around to give a bit of a fatter look at the back. The only way I managed to make that work is removing the rear brakes completely, including the handbrake. So no rear brakes at the back and also no handbrake. Moving on to one of the latest party pieces, and that is the 76mm exhaust with a custom silencer. Also made a video on that. All I can say about that is it sounds freaking awesome. Then moving on to the front, same 225/70 R16 tires and those Jeep wheels. I don't know, I think it's Jeep like I said. And then also the 3 inch lift kit. Then I had some 50mm aluminium wheel spacers made to clear this ball joint. One unfortunate thing I did was I had to cut these wheel fenders back before we had the lift kit because the tires were kind of getting into them. So that's one mistake I made that I can't really fix. I mean, they're gone. I think those Raptor Ranger fender guard things, those black things, would look pretty cool, but yeah, I shouldn't even think about that. It's not going to be mine anymore. Anyway, moving on to the front bumper. I just wanted to make something a bit more off-road looking for the car. I do still have the old bumper, and that will obviously be sold with the car. And then got some spotlights on there. Looking at it now, a winch on there would look pretty cool. No, I have to sell it. I have to sell it. Then we have another party piece. Let's face it, this is pretty cool. I think this is one of the biggest displacement engines you can buy in South Africa. 4-litre inline six. Only changes I made is getting it on a Volkswagen VR6 coil pack, and then yeah, basically that's it. Stock standard 4-litre inline six. Big potential this thing has. I think with a little bit of boost, this thing will be a different animal. And then lately I just added a stainless steel intake pipe, so running to the snorkel. That's another cool thing that the car has. I built a fully functioning snorkel for it. I do have the air filter and the housing for that, so that'll also go with the car. I just wanted to get some intake noises through the 4-meter long snorkel. Two more disclaimers. Number one, the car doesn't have a crash bar anymore. It was in a slight frontal crash, so that crash bar was a bit bent up, so I just cut that out when I built the new bumper. And then one of the back wheels is a bit bent, so it wobbles a bit. I just want to be completely honest about this, and yeah, but I think that's about it on the outside. Let's move on into the interior. As you can see, I have the window open now. The car does have electric windows, only up in the front because I had to use the rear window switches because this little switch panel was gone when I bought the car. And then because of that little front crash, the airbag popped. That's about the only thing wrong with the interior. Other than that, the car is pretty clean on the inside. And then we have, let me just switch it off. We have a little switch over there for the air conditioning. Yep, this thing is pretty fancy. It has AC. Well, kinda, and kinda sometimes, not always. I do still need to clean it up, but it looks pretty decent, honestly. And then over there behind the, I think it's an airbag cover, and I don't know if there was an airbag in there. There wasn't when I got it, so I have the power mod standalone ECU for the engine just resting in there. I bought the car without an ECU, but I knew I could just get a power mods in there and get the engine running if it was good, and it turned out to be more than good. This engine is so smooth. But having no original ECU, getting the engine to run on the power mods, we still had one major issue that I recently solved, and that is getting the automatic gearbox to shift. So that's why about 2 weeks ago we went out testing the gearbox, and I finally figured it out. So I had these switches on there, but there was no way to know in which gear you are with this switch setup, or kind of switch. And then I also tried various other switches. So I think I have I had 4 different switch configurations to get this right, and I ended up building this little lever. So now we have not one but 2 gear levers. So inside this little box I made is a fan switch, and not to get too deep into this because this kind of broke my brain, but we have shift solenoid 1 and 2 needs to be powered together for the car to be in first gear, and then you have to remove shift solenoid 1, then the car is in second gear, and then when you remove second gear and power third gear, the car is in third gear, something like that. But basically I ended up with this little box, and this is first gear when the lever is up like that, and then you just slightly push it forward, and that's second gear, and it's just effortless. So we have first, second, and then third, and have another little switch on this for another gear of some kind. To me, first gear is the most important, so we have that first gear, second gear, third gear, and then you're up to speed, and I won't go any faster with this thing, especially with that back wheel that buckles like that. We also have to remember the bigger wheels, the circumference is a lot bigger, so first gear is a lot faster than it used to be on the old tires and wheels. This thing is definitely not built for high speeds. But the best way is going to be to take it out for a little test drive. This is probably the last time I'm going to drive the car before parking it, so that I can get back to work on the things that truly matter. Stop messing around with this thing. Even though it is a bunch of fun, I really do need to get serious about those other 2 projects. always a good day when I don't get stranded next to the road. So this is a little field I usually come out to for testing, but I don't go too crazy because there are a lot of houses. So I'm just gonna form the intro for this video and then get out of here again. I don't want to stay too long. Scared someone calls the police or something. I mean, people are weird like that sometimes, but having the ability to shift between the gears has just made the biggest difference to the car, and it's a really fun experience to drive this thing. So yeah, let's head on back home, I guess. Another successful test drive. Almost forgot about the funniest thing about this. The eco button is now the launch control button. Damn! Freaking machine. Now, I won't go as far as to call this a reliable vehicle, but hey, we made it back home without any issues, so that's a good thing always. So this is going to be where the car is going to wait until the next owner comes along. So please hit this video with a like, share it with friends, family, if you know someone that will buy something like this. It is a lot of fun, but it is something different, let's just call it that. And then also getting the workshop roof repaired because it started tearing on the ends. So just waiting on that to get back, and then we'll get back to work on these two beauties and then looking in the workshop. I already have the M104 head back from the machine shop. So that's skimmed and ready to go back into the car. I'm just waiting on a few parts. Still need to decide which head gasket I'm gonna go with. And then there's one little seal I just can't find, but we'll get there. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you know of someone that wants to buy the Ford, yeah, hit me up. I have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can just search Ricer Benz, you will find me, and we'll talk about it. Like always, appreciate you guys watching, and then I'll see you in the next one.